So, as someone who has been able to go from being fired from his corporate 9 to 5 job to transition into being a 20-year-old making 6 figures a year, there is a range of lessons that I've learned, and there's a range of things that, if I could go back to my 18-year-old self and tell that young man who was so obsessed with becoming the best version of himself, and, tell that man who knew he wanted to make all of the money in the world, knew he wanted to be like a high level man, but he just didn't know how to, and there were so many options, so many things going on in his brain. If I could tell that man three things, it would be what I'm about to tell you in the next 5 to 10 minutes of this video. And the reason why I made this is because I was thinking back to myself, like what would the 18-year-old self me would have needed to hear? What would have helped him times two of the growth quicker than I've been able to get to the level that I'm at now. Like, what piece of information would I have been able to give him if I just had a quick, 1 to 5 to 10 minutes chat, 5 to 10 minutes sit down with him and tell him like what would have benefited him the most. So I sit down and I wrote those specific things that I think would have helped him massively, and I've got them on my iPad, and I'm gonna go through each one of those three things with you. Okay. So thing number one is you can make money with anything, like whatsoever. You can make money with anything, any side hustle, anything in the world, like anything that you see online. It is possible to make money with it. You just need to stick to it without getting shiny object syndrome. Okay. Now, it is also true that there are some things that can make you more money than other things. But 9 times out of 10, if there are people doing it online, if it's been around, if people are posting about it and it's online and it's accessible, you can make money with it. The thing that stops the most people, and the thing that stops the majority of young men from actually being able to make money with something or with all of these things that they see online or with any sort of venture, is shiny object syndrome. Okay, we're in a society now where every single week there's a new business model. Every single week there's a new skill. Every single week there's a new way to get money. There's a new stock to trade. There's a new Bitcoin to invest into. There's a new meme coin that's, scaling upwards. And there's constantly new people, and there's constantly people all on the internet, you know, advertising different things. Like, I don't help. I'm always on my page advertising sales and appointments and closing about how that's changed my life. And I'll go into that after. But the matter of the fact is that as a young man, if you allow yourself to be consumed by social media, if you allow yourself to be consumed by every single new side hustle you see, and if you allow yourself to follow every single thing that looks better, if you allow yourself to always look for the grass that's always greener, you will never ever make progress. We can use so many analogies here. Like, if you're a young guy and you play football, for a month, 2 months, 3 months, and you're just starting to pick it up, you're starting to understand it, but then all of a sudden basketball comes out. And basketball, everyone's online talking about how big basketball is, how much money you're going to be able to make with it. If you put down football, if you put down all of the hard work you've done with football and you go and focus on basketball, that's a completely new thing that you've never done before, and a completely new niche, or in a completely new field. And now all of the lessons that you've learned from the 3 months have effectively gone to waste, okay? And now let's say you go to basketball and you do that for 3 to 4 months, you're getting good at it the same way, you're making the exact same progress as you made with football. Boom. And then rugby comes out of nowhere. And now rugby sounds even better. Now rugby, sounds like it suits you more. So you go and do that. Okay, and then the same happens with golf and then tennis. And then you're just in a never-ending cycle, and that is what the majority of young men are nowadays. Like, I speak to tons of different men. I'm like, all right, cool. So have you ever tried to make money before? And they're like, yeah, I've tried drop shipping, I've tried e-commerce, I've tried this and this and this. And I'm like, bro, do you realize that if you just tried one of those things, like one of those four things that you just told me, if you just stuck at one of those four things for a year, 2 years, 3 years, you would have made money with it, and you would have been so much more further ahead than trying to jump onto the one that just looked easier, or trying to jump onto the one that looked newer and that, lifted your dopamine up. It's like you can't build long-term results without long-term effort, without long-term initiative. So what I'm trying to get at here is that a lot of young men try and they say that, making money online is hard. It's hard. You know what I mean? It's hard, but it's simple. It's simple, but it's not easy. And it's one of those things where you have to stick to it. You have to pick one, and you have to go in all in on it, and you will be able to make money with that one thing. But it's when you start to try different things, when you start to move on to this, move on to this, move on to this, that is when you can't make money with it. And that is when you start to get those doubts. And that is when you never ever make progress. Okay. So the number one thing is that genuinely you can make money with whatever it is that you put your mind to. Thing number two is focus on skills, not money. Okay. In society, skills are what in society you get paid on the amount of value that you can provide to the world. Okay, the best people, and the people that make the most money in a corporate effect, in a corporate lifestyle, right? Let's think about lawyers. Lawyers get paid handsomely by their rich clients because they're solving a big problem. They're keeping people out of jail. Doctors get paid a lot because they're saving people's life. They're keeping, either rich people or just normal people healthy and alive, and they're allowing their life to be better. So they're providing an insane amount of value, and they're therefore getting paid handsomely, and they're therefore getting paid a lot of money. That core principle and that core aspect of how these big professionals get paid is how you are going to get paid in today's modern market. Okay, the reason why lawyers and doctors get paid hundreds of thousands and sometimes millions is because of their skill. It's not easy to be a lawyer. It's not easy to be a doctor. They've got a huge skill that they can therefore charge a lot of value for. So therefore, you as a young man, your only focus needs to be, how can I gain as much value as possible in order for me? How can I build my skills up, and how can I make myself as valuable as possible in order for me to be able to get paid in accordance to what I'm able to do? And that is how online making money online works too. Okay. The reason why I'm able to get paid so much now, the reason why I'm able to make 6 figures a year, and why I'm able to make more money than all of the people I went to school and went to college with, is because I am more skilled than them. I can do more things than them. I can make content. I can make sales. I can manage sales teams. I can do all of these things that busy, big people and that, people pay a lot of money for. And therefore, I get paid a lot of money. It's that simple. So you as a young man, right? Like the biggest thing that helped me get to where I am now is that I build a skill. I found one skill, and it ties into the first point. I didn't get shiny object syndrome on all of these courses that these gurus are trying to sell to me on what is the quickest way to get rich. No, I didn't. I completely blocked my ears out to that. And I just focused on one real skill. I just focused on one real thing, which was sales, that made me valuable and that turned me into the man I am today. Okay. And it's that simple. You don't have to complicate it. You don't have to overcomplicate it. You need to find one thing, one skill, stick at it for a prolonged period amount of time. Learn it, implement, learn it. And over a long period of time, and over a long enough time span, you will get really good at that, and you will be able to be more valuable than everyone else in the market. Okay, it is that simple, and that is quite literally the simple recipe to be able to make money. Okay, and that is what I wish I knew, or that's what I would have told my 18-year-old self, and I would have drilled it into his head if I had like a 10-minute conversation with him, because that would have got him so much further than where I am now. And the final thing is enjoy the process. Okay, I think you probably heard this before, but what a lot of people don't understand is that the thing that's going to make it fun, and the thing that is going to make it so that, when you're old and once you've achieved all of these riches, it's not going to be all of the riches that you have in the moment, although that is always going to be good, although that is going to, give you big dopamine. But it's going to be the journey that you took. For me right now, getting fired at 19 and being able to change my life in a year, that means so much more to me than what I've got now. That means so much more to me than the money I make now. The reason why it means so much more to me is because of the journey, because of the process that I went through, how hard it was, and how rewarding that feels to me now. That is the real, that is the good bit, if that makes sense. Like, that is the bit that that's the bit that I'm in awe. Like, I was thinking about it this morning. I was just daydreaming in my office chair for 5 minutes, and I was just thinking about the day where I got fired, how crushing that felt, how crushed my soul felt, and how it felt in the beginning, not knowing if it was going to work, and how it actually feels now. Not that I've got those things, but because of the journey and the man I've become, and the type of way I've developed to get to this point. So what I'm saying is that, like, genuinely, you need to have fun with it. You need to enjoy it, okay? Because that is what makes it easier. That is what allows you to enter into your flow state as men. And that is what's therefore is going to allow you to just achieve greater things. So the final thing that I could tell my 18-year-old self is that genuinely, all of the bullshit that comes your way, that is what is going to make you look back at this, in 20 years from now, and be like, wow, this is what, like, the reason why this feels so good is because where I came from, and because of the process and all of the memories that I made with the great people, and all of the things that I did and all of the things that I achieved. Not what you got in the end, but it's the process of actually getting there.